It's about time we had a conversation about the East. Not just the East, also LeBron's 10 final appearances. And while we're at it, Jimmy Buckets Butler's final appearances. Were these a matter of luck, skill, right place, right time, or the East being weak? Firstly, let's tackle the East in general. Since 2000, there has been 9 times an East team has won the Larry O'Brien. That's a 37% win chance for an East team. But what's happening in the East that's causing them to come up short as of lately? A big part of the reason for Eastern Conference teams not performing is injuries. Of course, it's not as like the Western Conference team don't have injuries. They do. However, young stars never coming back from these injuries. A lot of the young stars who are set to take the wheel and propel the East to equal footings to the West keep facing major injuries. We see this with Chicago Bulls D. Rose, Miami Heat Wade, Indiana Pacers Paul George, 76ers Joel Embiid, and the list goes on. All young players who are on their way to an MVP or got one and life took a turn for the worse. And then there's young stars who are constantly facing injuries and are on and off, such as Hornets LaMelo Ball, Hawks Trae Young, Heat Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, etc. So is there a curse on the East, or do doctors there just suck? Another reason is age. Due to young stars' careers and peaks being cut short, it has left the East in dismay and with an overall older age average. However, this has been an issue for a while. When Bron was drafted into the league, we saw that a good number of East All-Stars were already strolling into their 30s, and in that period of time, getting ready to pack their bags for retirement. Due to what was already a pretty mature Eastern Conference side, it didn't help that their young stars that were just coming into the league kept getting injured. The combination of the two was a recipe for failure and a very easy Eastern Conference. Which brings me to Bron's renowned 10-year final appearance. Are we overrating it? I think Bron came into the league at the right time. He might have not been on a great squad, but seeing the comp in the East and Bron's overall skill, it was a cakewalk for him. What was the most reputable team Bron faced in the East? Possibly the '08 Celtics, a roster anchored by 3 30-year-olds. Once again, might not seem old in today's game, but back then, people weren't playing till 38 or 40 as much. And if they were playing till those ages, they weren't performing at the level we see current 38-year-olds performing at right now. Then, from 2011 through 2014, which is 4 final appearances, he was on his beloved super team in Miami. Then, the return of Cavs, in which, by that time, the East was either a retirement home or a team of young guys facing injuries, which also includes the highly acclaimed 2018 Bron phase. Of course, this does take skill, as NBA games are a best of 7. However, when you look into it, it's like, okay, he was beating depleted East teams and stat padding, then losing to actual good teams in the West. When the East was finally picking up speed again, Bron's contract ended, then he headed out to West, which, outside the 2020 championship, hasn't panned out so well when comparing to his Eastern Conference tenure. As for Jimmy Buckets Butler, I think he saw and knew how weak the East was. Jimmy has staked claims multiple times he doesn't want to be or see himself as a first option, and he'd much rather be the sidekick, as he works best along someone else who can take the bright lights off of him. Despite those claims, he still was fairly auspicious in the Eastern Conference. You can even stake the claim that Jimmy Butler faced a better East than Bron ever has. Which brings me to the conclusion of the East not being competitive. There might have been years where the East has had the best team, but the overall talent pool has been short to the West since the start of the 2000s. And that's all for this video. If you aren't already, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment below on your opinion regarding the Eastern Conference as a whole. Till next time, see ya.